Good afternoon. I'm Leon Davis, and welcome to another episode of Altitude Adjustment. Today, we're going to be talking to a good friend of mine. I've known him for most of my life. His name is AJ. He's a fitness guru and a musician seeking his fortune in California. We'll get that started with that show in just a second. Okay. There it is.
Welcome to Altitude Adjustment.
Okay. Had a little technical difficulty there. So, AJ, how's it going?
Everything's good, my brother. What's good with you?
I am hanging in there. I really do appreciate you coming and hanging out with me today.
Hey, my pleasure, man.
Excellent. So, we had talked about maybe me sharing that story with you. With a story that from grade school, actually, how AJ, one of the things that I remember back from sixth grade. In sixth grade, we went to sixth grade center, and we went to Camp White Cloud, wasn't it?
Camp White Cloud, yes, sir.
Camp White Cloud. And I've always been a tall kid, and I'm Mr. Friendly. I wouldn't punch cotton, and and so we were on the bus as campers because we went back as counselors, didn't we?
Right. Eventually, we went back.
Eventually went back as counselors, but so we were on the bus from sixth grade, headed to Camp White Cloud. And so this guy, I don't even remember who it was. I don't even know if he graduated or whatever. But he was picking on me. I was being bullied on the bus. And as I said, I wasn't a fighter. So I didn't say anything. I figured if I ignore the guy, he'll go away. Well, he wasn't going away. And eventually AJ said, you know what, he had enough. So he got up into the guy's face and he let him know, if you say one more word, I'm gonna rearrange your front teeth. And and that was one of my early experiences with my friend AJ. So I know he's a good guy, and I'm sure that you'll like him too.
Oh man, you know what, Leon? When you, I never would have thought of that if you hadn't mentioned it at the meet and greet that we did a few years ago. I never thought about that again. In my life.
It was important to me because, it's one of those memories that stick out. There are a lot of things that I have forgotten about, high school and grade school, but that one was stuck with me. It stuck with me.
Yeah. Well, it's sticking with me now ever since you told it. I've been thinking about it.
well, you were a good guy back then, and you're still a good guy as far as I know.
Thank you, man. I try to be.
Excellent. One of the things that I found interesting is your Tales from the Bartside.
Yes, sir.
So just share a little bit of how you started that, and just how that all came about to be.
Right. Well, I've always considered myself a closet comedian. I always like to make people laugh, and I love to laugh. Anytime I get around my family, that's all we do is play the dozens and talk about stuff when we was growing up. So I commute to work. I live in Oakland, California, but I work in Berkeley, California. So I drive my car over to the BART station and hop on there. And during the 25-minute ride to work, now I've just kept seeing crazy stuff on the BART. And the BART stands for Bay Area Rapid Transit System. So, just like any public transportation, man, you always see something funny. Sometimes it's not so funny, but sometimes it's funny. And so one day I just started taking pictures, recording videos, and just putting my little, sense of humor into the situation, whatever was going on. And I thought about this old thing where you probably watched it too when we were young. It's called Tales from the Dark Side. So I decided to name my little video log Tales from the Bartside. So, I see something crazy or something interesting, something funny, and then I would add my own little, comedic impression of the situation. And after a while, I have hundreds of friends on online, and people just started reacting to it and, adding their 2 cents or, laughing or whatever. So it's like now when I go to work or when I get off, I always announce that I'm on the BART.
Mm-hmm.
And people would just, people would text me, add their 2 cents. And so they look forward to, at the end of the day or the beginning of the day, something funny I might see on the BART.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Well, first, I have never been to California, so that's one of the places I've always wanted to go. So I've never been to California, and I know a while back I had asked you about trying surfing.
Me and surfing, right?
Yeah, you and surfing. So anyway, but a couple of days ago, you had a musician on. The guy who was playing sax, and he's pretty good. It was.
He's well known. Matter of fact.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, one of my fraternity brothers in Memphis sent me a note to let me know he was a fan of the guy. His name is Kevin Moore, and that's somebody that I plan on using in some of my band's future tracks. But evidently, Ward Lindsay, he had covered one of his songs in a church program with this sax ensemble. So, hey man, that's how I ended up in California. Music brought me to California.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now I wasn't one of the party kids in high school, so I didn't even know you played in a band, or I didn't remember that.
Yeah, you probably just didn't remember.
Yeah, and so you started in a band pre-high school.
Yeah. So man, for St. Louis has in U City especially, there are so many musicians out there. I mean, you could throw a rock in a crowd if you're walking down on the loop, and you probably would hit a musician. And back then, instead of joining a gang, you would either have a dance group, a singing group, or a band.
Mm-hmm.
And my family has always been musically oriented, and my mom was a jazz singer back there. Both of my sisters, Rosin and Beverly, they play in a band in St. Louis called Retro Boogie. They're pretty popular around town.
Mm-hmm. I remember them.
And right, so this is what that's what we did. And coming up, you get your little band together. That was your gang, and then we'd have our little battle of bands. U City was known for talent shows,
mm-hmm.
and so that's something I've been doing since 7th grade.
Okay, Markovic Drummond.
Yeah, Mark Drummond. Yeah, that's our guitar player from Mama. There goes that band.
Okay, he's dropped in with us, and he can hear you.
What's up, Mark?
And he threw up deuces. Okay, so you played in the band at high school, and
mm-hmm.
then you went on to college, and you went to college down south.
Right. Well, initially I went to Lincoln University on a track scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my Mississippi Valley State folks probably don't know this, but I went to Lincoln after high school, and at the time I just wasn't ready for college, so I dropped out and joined a band called Sheer Energy. The first time I joined it, they're out of St. Louis, pretty popular. Had
mm-hmm.
produced by Oliver Stain, and we had some songs out in the late '80s. But I went. Eventually, I ended up back in Mississippi Valley a couple of years later on a track scholarship.
Okay. Did we lose you?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. And then you went back on a track scholarship.
So I went back to Valley. So yeah, I ended up in Mississippi Valley State. And I'll tell you, other than high school, that was probably the greatest time of my life. If I hadn't went to Mississippi Valley, I wouldn't be where I am today, man. The people there, my experience there, being at a black university, that particular one, even though Lincoln was, it was just an outstanding experience. And most of my friends that I deal with in life today are people I've met at Mississippi Valley State University.
Okay. City Jazz Sessions, or Warren, it asks, do you know Daryl Darden and Oscar Dillon?
Man, I don't remember Oscar, but Daryl Darden, one of the greatest guitar players in the world. And he's from St. Louis. Anybody in the music scene back in St. Louis coming up, everybody knows about Daryl Darden. Anybody worth their salt, St. Louis know that this dude is bad. He's actually out here in California. He's in Southern California. I'm in Northern California. But this guy is probably the best guitar player I know personally.
Excellent. So, so you get out to California,
right,
and you start to. So one of the things that you said to me, I thought was kind of curious. You said there's no money in selling tracks.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Right. So social media has changed the landscape of music. I mean, back in the day, you get a record contract, and people would buy your songs at an old-fashioned brick and mortar.
Mm-hmm.
Now with media sharing, people, you make a song, it's out there. One person might buy it and download it, but they might share it with 10 people who would share it to 20 people. Those 20 people would share it, and it just goes on, and it's very hard for even established artists these days to actually sell a song through a download.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so groups like us, Mama There Goes That Band, and any other independent artist, it's a hard sell to sell your songs by downloading, trying to sell downloading. The money is getting your song synced to media, like movies,
mm-hmm.
TV, advertising. That's where the money is, and that's what our main goal as a band to do right now.
Okay. So how do you from college? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you so all of the guys in the band. How many guys are in your band?
So it's 4 of us, and 3 of those guys, the other 3, they grew up on campus at Mississippi Valley State. So there's I'm sorry, I'm thinking about another band, but there's Marlon Weathersby, who lives in Arkansas. He's the bass player. Sidney Howard, the other keyboard player, he's in Detroit. And Markovich Drummond, he's a guitar player. So we're the 4, we're the core of the band. And then we bring in guest artists to enhance the band on certain tracks. But the 3 of those guys, they grew up, their parents worked at the university. And I met them as a freshman at Valley. And that's how we got going. And it's funny, we've always been in contact, especially Mark and myself. We came to California together. He went to LA, I came out here. But Sydney and Marlon, I don't see them as much.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, funny, I haven't seen Marlon in over 20 years, and I probably haven't seen Sydney in about 8 years. I see Mark more often, but through technology, we're able to record and write as a band using various digital audio workstation programs. So,
mm-hmm.
And when we do our videos, we will do our videos in whatever city we're in, and then Mark would usually edit the videos and put it together.
Oh, awesome. Okay. So though technology has taken away one avenue, it has provided for another avenue by being able to work. Huh?
I'm telling you, right, because we wouldn't be able. I mean, that was a way to do it by, I would record a track, and then I would send put it on digital audio tape or DAT, send it to Sydney. Sydney would do his thing, send it to Mark, but there was a lot of, snail mail involved. But now, I can just email my track to Mark. He can bounce it up to Sydney and vice versa. So that's how we put everything together, and everything is mixed and mastered in Detroit.
Okay. So anyway, so you're putting together your compilation now. Are you putting together several tracks to try to get that elusive? I don't want to call it elusive. I want to call it.
It's elusive.
It's elusive. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think is so you're trying to put together a body of work that you can shop as background tracks?
Yeah, to put on film, be included in like commercials, movie soundtracks, right?
Now,
and TV.
Now, do you work with? Do you try to reach a lot of the independent artists? Or are you going for the big studios?
A little bit of, between Sydney, who used to work for George Clinton, he used to work for Prince at Paisley Park. Mark was a very popular DJ in L.A. And then myself, just through different contacts. We know a lot of people in the industry, TV and film industry, and and sometimes we know somebody that knows someone. So we kind of get in touch with music supervisors, and that's what makes the final a decision for any song. And Mark and myself, we've actually had some success. We filmed, we've scored some short films before, a couple of short films, and we've also written original music for plays for like Dave Talbert. He's a filmmaker, and he started off with a play called "Tell It Like It Is," and we wrote his original music and wrote the theme song for the play. So we've had a little bit of success, and we worked for. We used to work for and write for an artist in the 90s. His name was I'm having a little Alzheimer's right here. Robbie Neville. Thank you, Robbie Neville. Got a tune out called "C'est La Vie," and we used to write for him. So we've had a little bit of success, but the money right now is really syncing your stuff up to film, and we're just just like anything else, we have to keep going. We're writing a lot. We have some new songs coming out, and that's why we don't try to sell them. We just share them, and then hopefully people will share them with other people, and it's just our hope and prayers that sooner or later, like some musician told me, he said, never stop writing. Just keep trying, you're going to get it done. So,
right. Persistence.
That's the hope.
Perseverance.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I'm going to play a little bit of the "Too Clingy."
Okay.
You probably won't be able to hear it, but so who's doing the lead vocals?
So that's Sydney. Sydney, my brother up in Detroit, the other keyboard player, he does a lot of vocals. So he's going to lead vocals on that. I'm actually have two parts that I lead in. background part,
Mm-hmm.
the background part. But all the Sydney playing most of the keyboard parts. We're both doing a synth solo in there, and we're just handling the vocals of it, and Mark on guitar.
All righty. Drummond, Mr. Drummond says funky, funky. And
Right.
interesting title from Mr. Oh, now I've got Alzheimer's. Warren, Mr. Harper. All right, so this one is Dirty Karma, and it has dirty is spelled DHIRTY, and karma is spelled KHIARMA.
Right.
Now, is he the same lead on this?
No. We have several people on there. Our little brother, King Williams, is first, the main vocalist throughout the song. He's actually in Jamaica. He recorded his part in Jamaica. And Sydney and another one of our friends is doing background on that song. But we use Sydney, King, and Johan, who's actually in Sweden. He's singing some of the lead on there as well. And never to betray. You threw this in my face, I have no value. You demand allegiance, insist upon obedience. Okay. I actually like both of those. And then the other one was Fun in the Summertime, and there was a play on that title that we talked about earlier. And I didn't get a snippet of that one. But if anyone's interested, I will most certainly leave links in the descriptions where you can find some of this music. And so who's handling, or do you have someone particularly handling like who would they get a hold of if they were interested in having your band put something together for them? Oh, well, they can they can email me aljboyd@gmail.com. If you want to get that to me, I can definitely get to work on anything that you might be interested in doing. Mark, you might want to put your email up as mkdrum, mkdrum06@gmail.com, or Sid is SIDIZ @hotmail.com. So that's the easiest way to get in touch with us. Hit me up on any one of our social media pages, and we'll see what we can do for you. We love to collaborate. We work with a wide variety of musicians from all over the world, featuring on our tracks, and actually collaborating with other musicians as well. So we love that kind of work. We all have our jobs. I'm a general manager for 24 Hour Fitness, and that's my full-time job. But I'd rather be doing music full-time, like Sydney, like Mark. They do the music full-time. Okay, so I'm gonna ask one more question about your music, and then you can talk a little bit about your day job. Okay. So how did you come up with the band name? Well, so out here in Oakland, Golden State Warriors are that's our team right there. Okay. And Mark Jackson, commentator, and then later on became their coach. He had a expression anytime somebody went hard to the basket or did a great move. He would say, "Mama, there goes that man." And so a few years back, when Sydney and Mark and I and Marlon, we were talking about recording as a band, it just kind of stumbled out of my mouth. I said, "Yeah, Mama, there goes that band." And then Sydney's like, "Man, I like that." I said, "All right." So that's the name of our band, Mama, There Goes That Band. That's how that came. fruition.
Okay. So your day job, you've been doing that for quite a while.
Yes, 29. I've been with 24 Hour Fitness, 29 years. When I first, like I mentioned earlier, Mark and I came to California together, and when I started with 24 Hour, it was called 24 Hour Nautilus back then. We only had like 9 locations, and fast forward, I had only planned on doing it for maybe 3 years, and fast forward 29 years later, here I am, still working for 24 Hour Fitness. So I work from clubs from here to Houston, Texas, and it's been a great ride. I enjoy doing it. It keeps me young.
Yeah, I've seen some of you share where you working with I guess you call them the ropes. I don't
Battle ropes, yes, battle
yeah
ropes, yeah,
yeah
battle ropes.
battle ropes. That's what it was, battle ropes. Right, and I saw you working out with the battle ropes, and I don't see you doing much free weights. You don't do free weights?
Oh yeah, but I normally don't take too many pictures in the gym. Can you imagine trying to do a selfie while you're doing a bench press? That wouldn't work. And I'm not that vain that I would say, all right, give the phone to somebody and have them take a picture of me. But
There's a
that was
whole
the time.
there's a whole bunch of folks that try though.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I'm not that guy.
You're
I'm
not
not
that
that guy.
guy.
No, I'm not that guy, man. But that was a time when I was a bodybuilder, and um, I still, at this point in time, I still do a lot of free weights, but it's not a priority for me at this point. So I'll do my maybe 3 days of lifting, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And the rest of the day I try to do some core work. And now I've had some medical issues in the past that sometimes throws me off my game. So,
Sure. Mm-hmm.
and that's what I'm kind of going through right now from a couple of issues that kind of slowed down my weightlifting right now. But I'm in pretty good shape for a young guy my age, and we won't talk about our age, but I
But
do pretty good.
You mean 35? You don't want to talk about you don't want to talk about our age at 35?
No, not even that.
So, what was I going to ask? Any pointers for people who are 35 plus
Right.
that might want to start working out other than seeing your doctor? But
Right. Well, see your doctor first. That's important. But I always just say keep moving. If you have to join a local Y, if you have to go on YouTube and do some exercises at home, if you can't join, if you can't afford to join a gym. But there's always something you can do. You can walk, you can jog, or you can get in a pool and swim. If you can't swim, just walk up and down the length of the pool. But just keep moving. That's my number one advice that I would tell anybody. Of course, I can really get technical and say what to do in the gym and this, that, and the other. But I say, consult your doctor, get their advice, and just keep moving because, sitting down, some people have sit-down jobs, and, they sit down for 8 hours a day, then they go home, and, next thing you know, you sit down watching TV or whatever. Just keep moving and get some kind of exercise. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but just do something, and, just keep it moving.
Okay. I noticed that. Well, one other thing that I really wanted to cover. When we were growing up, and this is something that I've had to make the adjustment to, there was no internet.
No.
And I noticed that you share quite a bit of your life.
Right.
How did you make that transition? Because it's been a real horrible thing for me. I'm really closed off, not by intent, but it's just we always used to keep our business to ourselves, and we
Right.
learned that. So how do you Yeah. How did you make that transition to be able to share what you share?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, man. Well, my personality, if anybody remembers from college or high school or grade school, you know, I think it comes with personality. You know, like
Okay.
you say, the stuff you've always been, you know, kind of private, closed off. I've always been a person that, you know, that will share everything. I wear my feelings on my shoulders, yeah, and I like, you know, I just like being able to talk to people. I like, you know, telling people what I've been through. Um, uh, uh, and I think it comes with your personality. Whatever your personality is like is the way you're gonna, you know, express yourself. And of the old song, I think the lyrics say, "Ain't it funny how the way you feel shows on your face?" I believe that was Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Hmm.
That's just always been me. I've been a social person, so with uh, social media, you know, I share parts of my life. You know, I'm a two-time cancer survivor, and if the first time that I went through it, if there had been social media, I probably would have let everybody know. But you know, when I travel, you know, even if I do something as simple as, you know, park my car a few miles away from Barton Walk, I just share, and I just like to share with people. That's just me, and I think some people are like that, and some people are not. But that's why they call it social media. You know, I like to just, you know, share my day-to-day things with people, and you know, I'm lucky enough to have a lot of friends all over the place, all over the United States and certain parts of the world. And I just like looking at other people's stories, and I like to share mine.
Well, I want to thank you very much for agreeing to hang out with me today. It has been everything that I thought it would be and a little more. I do wish you the best. I know that you are having some health struggles, and I didn't know about the two-time cancer survivor. And
Yeah,
um, so, you know, it has been a true pleasure getting to know you in my lifetime, and I want to thank you very much uh, um, for hanging out and being you. I'm
you're welcome. You're welcome. My pleasure. And just want to make a note on the health struggle. You know, the thing I'm going through right now is my voice. I think I shared a while back about my vocal cords. I've been getting hoarse, more hoarse over the past few years, and um, I didn't want anybody to, you know, any of my good friends to worry too much. But it's my vocal cords right now is kind of in and out. So if you wonder why I sound like Marlon Brando, that's why.
well, I started to mention at the top of the hour, but I thought, you know,
Okay.
you were gonna be that you were gonna make it, you know, you because one of the things that we talked about was that, you know, if your voice gave out, you wouldn't be able to finish the segment. But uh, we've
Right.
actually we've actually reached the we're a little over. Um,
Whew.
yeah, it's time flies when you're having fun, man.
Does, does.
But I do wish you you know, success in what you're trying to do with your music. I'll
Thank
do the
you.
best that I can to try to follow. I do enjoy Tales from the Bart, even when you
Yeah.
think that they're boring. I think that they're interesting. It's I know it's for you. It's become a routine, but
Yeah.
but it's interesting to see you you know, go through your day. And one of the things that I have really found very rewarding with social media is that, one, I get to connect with old friends like you, and
Yes.
two, I get to experience places that I either haven't been or probably won't necessarily get to anytime soon. Uh,
Right.
so thanks a lot,
You're
and
welcome.
give me a second. I'm gonna close the show, and then we'll just talk off the air. All right?
All right. Thank you.
Let me get started here. Okay, so that ends the show for today. Um, you can replay this podcast here on YouTube, and the audio podcast is going to be available on Stitcher.com, Podcast.com, and the iTunes Store and the Google Music Play Store. The internet is powered by your likes, shares, and comments. So like, share, and comment on this episode where you find it, because it matters. Remember to be cool, be calm, and above all, be careful. Look out for the other guy, because he might not be looking out for you.